is CTV News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Amherstburg's former Crown Royal bottling plant could be changing hands. Parent company Diageo has confirmed a tentative deal has been reached to sell their old facility this months after the company shut it down. CTV's Robert Lothian has been looking into this. Robert, what do we know?
Yeah, Travis, we know this is far from a done deal. A Diageo spokesperson tells me a purchase-sale agreement has been signed, but this process likely requires some of the terms and conditions to still be hashed out. The question everyone is now trying to answer is who wants to buy the property.
We'd be very happy to know that, because it would depend in large part what they want to do with the property. Do they want to use the building? Do they want to use the land around it? Is it going to remain industrial? Is it going to, anything could happen.
Amherstburg Mayor Michael Prue says he's hopeful the buyer will bring more jobs to the region. This property was put on the market in December, and according to Prue, this isn't the first offer that's been made. Now, at this point, Diageo says they cannot name the purchaser due to confidentiality. Now, this could mark a positive step forward for Amherstburg residents after its largest employer packed up shop, cutting more than 200 jobs. Diageo closed the plant in February to move some of these operations to the United States. In the months since, residents and town officials have questioned the future of the building. And while it may be early, Prue says he's happy to see the agreement.
I am very pleased that some movement is taking place. It would be a shame for this to sit idle for too long. Buildings have to be occupied in order to be well maintained, and the longer a building remains empty, the more structural damage and things can happen to it. So, yeah, we're happy. We're happy. I just hope it continues to be used for industrial purpose.
If the buyer plans to rezone the land from its current industrial uses, it will have to be approved by the town. There's currently no timeline for when a final deal could be reached on the sale of the property. Travis.
Thank you, Robert. That's CTV's Robert Lothian with our top story tonight. A key trade deal that drives Windsor's economy is entering uncertain territory after the United States declined to extend CUSMA at its 6-year review.
But what remains to be seen is what the actual shape of a review process looks like, because the agreement itself doesn't set out specific requirements for what a review needs to contain or may not contain.
The decision means Canada, the U.S., and Mexico will now review the trade deal every year until it expires in 2036, unless all three countries agree to extend it. Minister Dominic LeBlanc says that ends the certainty businesses have come to expect, and admits it's still unclear what those yearly reviews will look like. In Michigan, the state senator who came out swinging against President Trump and the billionaire owners of the Ambassador Bridge last month has announced she's suspending her campaign for the Democratic nomination to U.S. Senate.
Today, I'm announcing that I am suspending my campaign for United States Senate. And I'm doing it with a deep, deep sense of gratitude for our thousands of volunteers, for everyone who donated what you could, building a campaign with zero corporate PAC dollars.
State Senator Mallory McMorrow, did not endorse either of the remaining Democratic candidates, Representative Haley Stevens or former public health official Abdul El Sayed. Those two will face off in the August 4th primary, with the winner going head-to-head with Representative Mike Rogers, who ran unopposed for the Republican nomination. Rogers is also backed by President Trump, who McMorrow squared up against in a campaign ad in June, blaming him for the delayed opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge, saying he was serving the Maroons, who donated $1 million to the president's super PAC. The race in Michigan is considered a pivotal battleground for control of the state. Speaking of the Maroons, some of West Windsor's most notorious eyesores owned by the family's Canadian transit company may finally be coming down.
The reason these orders are out now is these buildings are at risk of, potential risk if you're to walk next to them or go behind the fence. There's, loose beams, roofs that are in partial collapse, brick masonry so there's a public safety risk.
The city has issued 16 emergency demolition and safety orders for vacant homes in the Sandwich neighborhood. The properties were acquired years ago as part of the Ambassador Bridges expansion plans, but have sat empty as the neighborhood called for action. The homes are located on Bloomfield, Edison, Indian, Felix, and Mill, with demolition expected to begin in the coming months. Ward 2 Councillor Fraser Fathers says he hopes the land can eventually be redeveloped to help revitalize the area.
I'd love to see new housing or, whatever to come onto this property. The land is still owned by the Canadian Transit Company. They, just like any property owner, they came to the city with a request to build residential units. I don't think we would be saying no. Like, I'd love to see family units going back and put housing back on here. The ball is in their court.
A bold new pipeline plan from Ontario and Alberta could send Prairie Oil to Sarnia as the provinces look to strengthen Canada's energy security. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the details.
It's a new vision to move oil 3,300 kilometers across multiple provinces. The premiers of Alberta and Ontario are calling it the Northern Shield Energy Corridor, a pipeline
built using Canadian steel by Canadian workers that will bring oil from Hardisty, Alberta, to new and expanded refineries in Sarnia, Ontario.
Moving some 500,000 barrels a day through the West East Pipeline, growing up to 800,000.
There is also an opportunity to eventually use this corridor to reach the Atlantic Ocean, which would allow Alberta to provide reliable energy to our nation's European allies.
A feasibility study of this proposal was launched in the fall. So far, it has buy-in of Saskatchewan's leader, but not Ontario's neighbor, Premier Wab Kinew.
He has to consult a little more with his folks in Manitoba, but we'll work something out.
Doug Ford says he'd rather have a private firm finance the project, but he's open to using public dollars.
I think it's a great investment, no matter if it's the government that will get a good ROI over a certain period of time.
A former oil industry player sees red flags on cost and demand.
This pipeline has a very low probability of success. There are so many challenges. Wouldn't put a lot of faith that this is going to happen anytime soon.
Ontario says it's already started consultations with Indigenous communities. Its feasibility study will be finished by the end of the year. That's when we should get a better idea of what cost might be. Siobhan Morris, CTV News, Toronto.
The weekend storms may be gone, but the questions aren't. Homeowners want to know why their basements flooded again and what can be done to stop it. CTV's Bob Belichico reports.
We're flooded with calls today, no pun intended.
The cleanup is on after Sunday's rain.
Fun times.
Morgan Malowitz and her family are emptying their basement once again after Sunday's heavy rains.
When the flood happened in 2020, we did whatever they said to do. Get the sump pump, get the backup valve, get the battery backup. We have it all, and it all failed.
Their home was built in the 1960s, and Malowitz is at a loss, not knowing where the water is coming from.
The infrastructure around that the city of Windsor has in place is not doing its job, and we're waving the white flag. People are done with this.
Why does this keep happening?
The Chapmans feel the same way after their basement was overwhelmed by the heavy rains.
I believe that the storm sewer was backing up through our sump pump into the basement.
It was not sewage, it was pure nature throwing all the water from the sky into our basement.
The city of Windsor says over $100 million has been spent improving the stormwater system as part of their $5 billion sewer master plan.
You're seeing these municipal projects all over the city, and all of those will be integral in enhancing our ability to take on higher flows like this during these intense wet weather events.
Flooded basements, flooded streets, flooded Grand Mare's Ditch. Water pooled inside Cineplex Odeon as well. Now, crews were on site restoring the theater, which reopened to moviegoers today, with access through the front doors only and no access to the gaming area. But when it comes to houses, Brian Myers of Advanced Basement Systems says some pumps should last between 7 to 12 years. He has this advice for homeowners.
Make sure your battery backup is charged and ready to go, and there's no issues with that. And if you don't know what to look for a sump or a battery backup, give an expert a call.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
The double dose of rain Sunday follows an earlier storm on Friday. Powerful winds toppling trees, leaving a path of destruction across Windsor, Essex. Here's a look at some of the damage.
gorgeous, isn't it? A lot of work to be done, I heard just the most incredible gust I had ever heard against my window. So I went to go check my Ring camera doorbell, and the second I opened the app, I see it go down. I was kind of shaking. There's a 60-foot, 70-foot tree laying in my front yard here, so I just called her and I'm like, yeah, the tree is down, the front yard tree is down, just kind of ecstatic about it. I had no idea what to say.
We had a few injuries, not life-threatening, and a couple people went to the hospital, and our hearts are out to them, but everything worked out. It could have been a lot worse. A lot of our vendors, this is their life, that they were struggling with evacuate and leave all their stuff or try to protect their stuff, and God bless them, they tried to protect their stuff, but no one got hurt. But I mean, it was pretty bad. It's like I say, I don't recall a storm coming up that quick and doing that much damage so fast.
We had lots of people contact us wanting to come out and help. They showed up, and we just started rebuilding, starting from one end of the park all the way to the other, putting up fencing back up, banners, cleaned up the trash and everything, and we got right to work with festival tent came in, assessed the tent, put it up all night, and other things happened throughout the night. People just generously helping us out. It was tremendous to see the community come out.
The cleanup continues across the region as restoration crews struggle to keep up with demand. CTV's Sanjay Maru has more.
The Downtown Windsor Community Collaborative took over this building on Church Street just 6 months ago. Now crews are gutting water-damaged drywall and insulation after a tree came crashing through the roof during Friday's storm. And while the building suffered extensive damage, the outcome could have been far worse.
The last person had left the building 15 minutes before the tree fell, so the building was empty of people.
It's just one of many scenes of storm damage across Windsor-Essex. In parts of Windsor's Roseland neighborhood, it's hard to drive a single block without finding at least one fallen tree, including this one that came down on Alexandra Roll's home right in front of her.
Looked out here to see the weather, the wind, and then all of a sudden, down it came. The snap, the crackle, the rattling of the house. I think I yelped and jumped back when everything happens.
And while the strongest winds are gone, the aftermath of this weekend's storms is keeping restoration crews extremely busy.
We're dealing with the fallouts of the storm over the weekend, not only the heavy windstorm that took place on Friday, but then the heavy rains that took place on Saturday into Sunday, even leading into today.
And if you've put in a call to a restoration company, officials ask for your patience. Crews expect to be working through the backlog of calls for several days as more homeowners continue to report damage from this weekend's storms.
We've received over 100 calls over the weekend from homeowners who are affected, anything from a fallen tree to shingles removed.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
A fatal fire in Amherstburg is now the focus of an arson investigation. Firefighters discovered a 47-year-old man dead after battling a fire at a home on Texas Road Friday night. Windsor police are now trying to determine who set the fire and are asking anyone with information to contact them. It was a busy night on Saturday for OPP in Essex County, with 3 people charged with impaired driving in separate incidents. One case involved a car that crashed into a mailbox. All 3 drivers had their licenses suspended and vehicles impounded. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. Well, in case you missed it, Canada's World Cup dreams are dead for now. We take you to the moment a Windsor watch party turned into a pity party. Stay with us. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with a look at the weather. And Gary, it is going to be a humid one tomorrow.
Yes, could feel like 37 in the afternoon, close to about 4 p.m. Today was a bit of a mixed bag, a mixture of sun and cloud at times towards the latter stage of the afternoon, a comfortable near 25 degrees Celsius. Felt close to about 31, 32, summer-like, as to be expected at this time of the year. Seasonal values slightly below average in terms of the daytime high. Our average is getting closer to 28. We were in that 24 to 25 range across extreme southwestern Ontario. And the good news is the spin of low pressure that brought showers across Lake Erie has pushed to the east, and the worst weather lies stateside. So that's not bad at all. One thing to point out here is we've seen huge fluctuations with temperatures, right? And when we look at records, we're looking obviously for the extremes. But as we gradually get closer and closer to August, when things really can get hot, we will see fluctuations. We saw temperature records last week. A record today was set back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, of 36.5, and we weren't even close. So we are going to see those kinds of fluctuations from time to time. So the next 24 to 48 hours are relatively quiet. Could see a scattered shower or two. If we do, it's so isolated that most of us won't even recognize that it's been raining. And the worst case scenario is some of those rains could be heaviest well to our north and east towards Niagara Falls and our friends in Fort Erie, so not much to worry about. Overnight, partly cloudy with a light breeze out of the northeast. Temperature drops to 20 degrees, which is mild and comfortable if you happen to be out taking your dog for a walk or for that midnight stroll to take care of business, right? Here's the breakdown for tomorrow. A clearing after some cloud in the morning, 20 degrees at 8 o'clock, a bright, I would say, midday and afternoon, going up to 29, a bit hazy. UV index is high, so protect yourself, use that sunscreen, and wear your sunglasses too. Wednesday's even warmer, 31, high UV of at least 9 or 10, could feel like 40. And then Thursday, Friday, clouding over, still warm Thursday, cooling off Friday, 30 to 27, and then the weekend looks good. Mixture of sun and cloud, fair weather, and that continues through to Monday of next week with temperatures around 28, and a week from now, 28 will be seasonal, average, what we would expect. Not record-breaking, just run-of-the-mill. Let's look at your weather.
Thank you, Gary. Canada has picked a German company to build its next generation of submarines, a multi-billion-dollar deal that comes just days before the NATO summit. CTV's Ottawa Bureau Chief Graham Richardson is traveling with the Prime Minister.
In the end, Prime Minister Mark Carney made it clear the German bid's connection to NATO may have been the key difference.
Canada has selected TKMS as the preferred supplier for Canada's patrol submarine project.
This is a massive game changer for the Navy and Canada. Right now, one of Canada's aging 4 subs is operational. The TKMS subs are still years away. Officials say 4 of them will be delivered to Canada by 2034. Carney says the sub purchase has already been factored in to Canada's fiscal outlook.
By design, this process will have far and away the greatest economic impact of any defense investment right across Canada. This was a difficult, close decision between 2 highly qualified suppliers.
Carney also said the connection to NATO and the operability in the Arctic tilted Canada to TKMS and away from the South Koreans.
The submarine is proven and capable. It's widely used by our allies.
And these subs are said to be very stealthy, the ability to wait and patiently be able to have the surveillance of the area so that if the Russians try to make the breakthrough, they will be surprised by the Canadian presence.
Canada shortlisted this project less than a year ago. That's an incredibly fast pace for any country, unheard of in Canada until today. And that is the message Mark Carney will take to Turkey and NATO in the next couple of days. Canada has changed because the world has changed. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Halifax.
Summer travel is in full swing, but what if your dream vacation is canceled weeks before you leave? CTV's Pat Boren has what you need to know.
It was devastating for me. Janet Somali of Mississauga was excited to fulfill a lifelong dream by traveling to Switzerland. She and her husband booked a guided tour over a year ago that was to leave in May.
I had already bought my euro money and my Swiss francs in preparation for the trip.
But 1 month before the trip, they got a notice from the travel company that said the tour had been canceled due to a lack of interest.
We got notification that the land tour was canceled because there was not enough sales.
The travel group said it would refund the cost of the tour, but Somali says she also paid for 2 round-trip tickets to Paris for $1,800. She felt she deserved a refund for those, too.
And I can understand if cancellations are due to, say, natural disasters or things of that sort, but not because there's not enough sales.
She booked with Trip to Go. A spokesperson told CTV News cancellations due to insufficient participation can occur when minimum operating requirements are not met. In line with our policies, affected travelers were offered either a full refund for the land tour package or a free rescheduled departure date.
It's different depending on whether it's a packaged tour or individually purchased.
The Travel Industry Council of Ontario, TICO, says if you book a package deal with a flight included with a tour, then you should get a full refund. But when you book a flight separately from a tour, you usually won't get your money back. It's all about the terms and conditions.
It's really important to look at the cancellation fees, rebooking fees.
Somali says she didn't feel comfortable flying to Europe without a planned itinerary, so she and her husband stayed home, and they were not refunded the $1,800 for the tickets. Pat Foran, CTV News.
The TSX fell 63 points today. The Dow gained 156, and the Nasdaq added 288. The Canadian dollar is down almost 0.1 cent. Gold gained almost $42 an ounce, and oil lost 14 cents a barrel. Canada's historic World Cup run has come to an end. Fans here in Windsor were hoping for another upset, but were left disappointed after Saturday's round 16 match. Groans filled Art Alley as Canada fell to Morocco 3-0. Dozens of fans gathered to cheer on the red and white, hoping to see their country reach the quarterfinals for the first time. The result ended a historic World Cup run, but did little to dampen their support for Team Canada.
Man, the coach, he didn't do well. He should have put Davies. That was the best player. The defenders, they weren't really falling back, and it's kind of on Canada this time.
I feel really frustrated, but I still cheer Canada forever.
They were playing way better than Morocco in the first half. I feel like if they kept it up that game, they could have scored at least 2.
Now, a controversial FIFA decision has drawn in the White House. An American star back in tonight's lineup after President Donald Trump personally asked FIFA to review his red card. CTV's Joy Malvin reports.
So, yeah, I did. I spoke to Johnny.
President Donald Trump confirming he made that controversial call, asking his friend FIFA's president Gianni Infantino to review the red card suspension of America's hottest player, Fuller and Balogun. Trump called the referee's decision horrible and, quote, a little bit suspect, even calling on reporters to check the referee's past.
I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was 2 great athletes that crashed into each other.
FIFA's highly unusual reversal overturns the red card suspension, and the Belgians are furious. Their coach thought it was an April Fool's joke.
It's a bad decision. Not good for the sport.
And Europe's governing soccer body said FIFA had crossed a red line.
It is remarkable that the president has entered the conversation. And I think that's the thing. And you'd be very concerned about the slippery slope. King Charles, does he want to weigh in on last night's red card for an English player?
So will the appearance of political influence sully the beautiful game? Here's what World Cup fans had to say.
It's just the reversal is a little weird and the timing's a little strange.
Definitely think that Trump played a trump card. I'd be really annoyed if I was a Belgian fan. It's good for the USA, though.
And today, FIFA dismissed an appeal by the Belgians, clearing the way for America's star striker to play against Belgium in that big match tonight. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
For another look at the 7-day forecast, we are joined by CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald. And Gary, I know it might be a little early to start looking forward to the weekend already, but it looks pretty beautiful behind you. A little cloudy, but comfortable.
Not bad at all. I always look ahead to the weekend. I mean, Monday is my look ahead day. So that's how I work. And it's healthy, I believe, to look ahead to time off and enjoying the weather. You should be enjoying the weather whether you're at work or play, of course. And tomorrow, I think you'll enjoy it. It will be warm, so stay hydrated. The UV index is high in the next couple of days, by the way. It just gets warmer on Wednesday. We'll go from 29 feeling like 37 at peak tomorrow afternoon to 31 feeling like 40. Then the clouds roll in and possible showers. I think it's going to be cloudy Thursday and Friday, but the risk of rain is relatively low, and the weekend looks great, as Travis said. 28 degrees for both Saturday and Sunday, a mixture of sun and cloud. The cloud is of the fair weather type, and Monday is a continuation of the same. So there you have it. I'm going to sneak back in here. Looks good. Enjoy your weather, no matter where you are, what time of day. Have yourselves a good night. Travis?
Thank you, Gary. Finally tonight, with temperatures like we're expecting tomorrow, it's hard to even imagine snow right now, but there is some in Toronto. This morning, a CTV News helicopter passed over a snow storage facility, one of 5 in Toronto used to deal with the aftermath of major storms. That might not look like snow, but it actually is. It's the remnants from what the city experienced as the snowiest winter in a long time, including a massive storm on January 26th, which dumped 46 centimeters of snow at Pearson Airport. That broke a single-day snowfall record set in 1966. And that is a lot still left. Very dirty, but still there. That's our time for tonight. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.